We are alive. We are on the SC2 Royal 3rd edition playoffs. We are the second semi-final. And we are sponsored by eSport Clothing, Need for Seed, Mifcom and Plasma. The last sponsor we did pick up like 2 days ago. So it was kind of a surprising thing for me as well. And we are actually, yeah, well, I wouldn't call that a best of 5 anymore because it's basically a best of 3 we have right now. Bottom left hand side we had the leading Protoss in this match. It's Belair, Gerald. He didn't manage to get the second map because Clem's micro was just so good. Yeah, and Vikings are the only unit in the game which does more damage to mechanical units. Not to armored or light, mechanical units. Let that sink in. That's by the way is the reason why Vikings are so good versus tanks. If there's just tanks. Like it's a very easy job for Vikings to take out those. And they ain't that bad versus Stalkers as well, as you did actually see. Good thing is Vikings have 6 range, as much as a Stalker, and they even have a decent HP pool. So never underestimate Vikings. There's a reason, but for example, I mean it's not particularly good, but Cars, for example, and Aquaron, those are 2 semi-pro Terrans, which are really good. But they are most likely to land some Vikings behind the economy line of the enemy. It doesn't matter if it's Zerg, if it's Protoss. Those Vikings dish out a lot of damage before you even can react to it. If he gets 3 probes and he gets away, you're done with it. Because that Viking will be back. So we see Belair Gerald with the Twilight Council. Will it be? It might even be resonating light. No. It will be DTs. Guys, open your meme books. It's time to take notes. So why is he putting that off base? Sure, it's just for one reason. Clem might expect Stalker opening, as long as he's not just sees the Twilight Council, which he doesn't know about till now. He didn't get any scout off. Oh, look at this! Both are playing proxy tech. Clem is putting his fusion core on top left hand side. Bottom right hand side we have the Dark Shrine of Gerald. Guys, let's help those. I feel like Dora the Explorer. Does anybody know where my main base is? Alright, jokes aside, both players are hiding their major tech. Fighting DTs, it all comes down to, do I have a scan? Do I have turrets? Do I have a Raven? Is it in place? Is my army strong enough to kill those right away? If you mule too hard, Dark Time does kill you. On the other hand, we have battle cruisers. Those do suck versus Stalkers. I'm sorry to point it out like that. Wow, the first DT just easily gets beaten up. Is there a second scan? No, there isn't. A couple of split seconds, no mining at the natural base. This is already harming the economy of Clem, losing a couple of SCVs as well. Wait, did he get a scout on what is in the main? No, he didn't see the... The problem is, if you play Dark Templars, those two-handed weapon swingers are quite expensive. Like, super expensive. Well, he's getting away with this one again. But the next scan is around the corner. The problem is, if you play Dark Templars, you usually don't have any units. And to counter a battlecruiser with Blink and Stalkers, I'd recommend at least 7-8 Stalkers to make it fast. So those Dark Templars, they barely did anything. Like, killed a couple of workers, forced the probes, forced the SCVs off their working space, but not too much. So is this battlecruiser getting out of it? Yep, it does. 5 probes getting killed on the way out. I don't know what to say. I'd say Clem is leading this. 30 army supply, tanks, marines, without upgrades, alright. He's even getting a second battlecruiser. Alright, fusion score gets taken out. You shall not battle cruise. Alright, that tech out of the way. And a fusion core is not that small of an investment. That's one less thing to worry about. Gerald's third base is up. He has 51 probes, which is alright. Well, the second battlecruiser, though, might be a bigger problem. Stalkers are wide split up. And 6 Stalkers versus 2 battlecruisers, for example, they would straight up lose. And you know what? In the main, there's nothing. There's not even a shield battery on the third. Those 2 battlecruisers which just demolish everything. Zealots are just straight up running away. Recall goes onto the third, but the battlecruisers are easily going to the main base, focusing down that forge. Alright, we had a couple of Stalkers being warped in. Still a decent trade there. And they stay harmful. This is still a problem. It's not out of this world yet. So Gerald has to think about it. You don't want to commit that many Stalkers for a defensive play. Usually as a Protest will blink you actually like to have the third base of the Terran sticking to that high ground, not putting it down and actually making good mining out of it. But until now, I don't feel like those battlecruisers are particularly bad. I mean, it's Eternal Empire. This is like a safe space. It's like if you move to your therapist. This is a safe space. Nobody's harming you. Everything is alright. We are all your friends. And then they keep shooting at you. So. Okay, first BC is moving out. Stalker's got attack upgrades. The second one is vanishing as well. Wait, was there a Dark Templar again? How many did you lose of those again? 5. Yeah, Gerald is trying desperately to make work with those Dark Templars. But until now, Clem really prevented those from happening. Oh boy. 4th base for the Protoss. Really a sourcing play from both sides. But with Storm coming in and rather late upgrades on the Terran side, because Armory is just finishing up. Battlecruisers are in huge engagement in terms of resources. And you delay a lot of your normal upgrades by playing them. I'm still forced to laugh when I'm thinking about both players did hide some of their tech, like in opposite corners of the map. It's like they're having a challenge. Okay, you have to hide some tech on the map, please. Don't build it in your base. Oh, what? Probes on the run. Oh, the battlecruiser. Yeah, that is... Wow. There is half of the army being recalled, and the rest is just Zealots and the High Templars. Just imagine Clem now moving out. Like, this is free farm. This is basically an Archon and a couple of Zealots. What those battlecruisers actually do is they force Gerald into positions he don't want to be. He wanted to push. He didn't want to recall. And that is buying time for them to get stronger. And here we go again. Additional probes going down. The army of Gerald being pushed back here. Looks like a total withdrawal. By the way, we even do see mech upgrades. On flyer attack upgrades. Oh, High Templars are coming. Wow, those storms really did hurt a lot. But even the Zealots did get off a little bit. That was expensive. But on the other side, or from the north, we have additional Zealots swarming in. And Stalkers coming from the left hand side. Even though that Medevik got feedback. And I see worse times coming towards the planetary. The battlecruiser is trying. Well, this was the only battlecruiser left. Clem did try to make this base survive, but wow, Gerald just kicked him in the in the family jewels, so to say. Alright, alright. Losing 15 SCVs and a base. Let's point it that way. It could be worse. You could have lost all your battlecruisers. Oh, he did. Being stuck on 3 bases versus a 4 base Protoss. Who has the superior attack. I feel like Clem tried to have an earlier transition into a Liberator late game. But by losing that base, he is forced to play defensively. He cannot make any aggressive move anymore. Gerald has so many army supply right now. Those EMPs of the Ghost better start kicking. Because the tanks won't help by a lot. Very nice EMPs. Storm's not yet to be seen. That poor CC will take a lot of damage if the units are not controlled perfectly. Oh, Gerald almost losing that War Prism here. Nice micro by Clem. Wow, and somehow he killed so many of the units of Gerald. Look at this army supply getting smaller and smaller because those Stalkers are focusing on the 3rd base by a lot. But those storms right into the kisser. Clem just left the game. And Gerald is taking the lead again. Blazer Gerald with the 2-1 lead again in this best of 5.